Howdy, howdy, howdy. Almost forgot my microphone. What would that be like? I hope, hey, y'all let me know if this microphone ain't working all right. Because I had my little piece come off. There we go. All right, sorry about that, guys. I tried to get going as quick as I can. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. What is it, June 14th, man, the middle of June. Welcome to all of y'all. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. A good Monday evening to y'all. Let me start off as I always do as we get people straggling on in with a big old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all of the reality TV fans of the world out there, and especially the Big Brother fans. I'm getting excited. We're getting close, guys. Are y'all getting the feel that we're right around the corner to Big Brother 23. It is quite amazing. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Some of my history. It's been 2 years. That amazes me. It's been 2 years, but we'll talk a little bit about that. I'll give y'all a little bit of an inside scoop as much as I can, but I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Let me see who all's out here. Let's see. Nice to skip Hell's Kitchen once in a while, Parker. Hey, Parker, I watch Hell's Kitchen. Yo, donkey. All right, I'll talk about that real quick. Did y'all know, guys? Well, you didn't know, unless I've said it before, and that could be. Talk about Hell's Kitchen. As you can imagine, before we actually went inside the Big Brother house, there's a lot of stuff we have to do. And one of the things that we do is we get measured for everything having to do with costumes. Shoe sizes, chest sizes, inseams. If they can measure it on your body, then you get measured with it. So we had some people that came in and just took measurements of everything. You know, hold your arms out. Well, all those suits, all the costume stuff have to be ready to go as soon as you're ready to do a competition. So we had some people that came in and did the measurements, and one main guy in particular. And what was really cool is I found out that in between working with Big Brother and getting us all sized up, he also did measuring and things like that for Hell's Kitchen. And so he had met Gordon Ramsay before. He told us how incredibly nice Gordon Ramsay was, one of the greatest people he had ever worked with. And so it was kind of cool. Before I ever even got in the house, I felt like I was kind of rubbing shoulders with people who knew celebrities, which was really, really a lot of fun. So, yeah. So there you go. Our guy, just a little bit of a distant relation to Gordon Ramsay. I love Hell's Kitchen. We watch it all the time. All right, let's see, guys. Before I get into my stories, let me check this all out. Don, you're out here first. Welcome. Joshy P, Rich Brent. Rich, welcome. David Buchanan as well. Brian, Hayden, Andy W. Amanda Lowe. Howdy, Amanda. Ma as well. Jenny Aker, Chris Lair, Chubby Bunny. Oh my gosh, guys. Welcome to all of y'all. Anthony Stike. If I missed any of y'all, I'm trying to look through here as quick as I can. But I think I got them all. And if not, give me a holler and I will certainly correct that if I could. Anyway, can't start now. Yeah, you can start now. We don't have all day. I know, Donna. It was, I don't know. I was going to say it's nice. I say it's hot. I'm a Texan, so I can handle the heat. It's kind of nice outside. But yeah, I wasn't going to miss out on this. It just took me a while to get going, but that's all right. All right, so let's see. What else is going on? All right, a couple of things to talk about. We've got a few special days going on today before I get into some of my stories and such. I did some searching, and I think, today's National Strawberry Shortcake Day or something, which I like strawberries. I've told y'all that, so I thought I could talk about that, but yeah, it's strawberry shortcake. TV show as well, wasn't it? I think it was a TV show on that a long time ago. But now I wanted to honor and talk about probably the most important international day that you could have. And I think you'll agree with me once I talk about it. Welcome all of y'all, not just June 14th, but June 14th, also known as International Bath Day. Yes, indeed. Where would we be without the baths? They had baths back in Roman times. I guess they had them before that. You jump in maybe not the volcano itself, but maybe a crater next to the volcano and get you a little hot tub going on, things like that. But yeah, welcome to International Bath Day. Now it's funny because I was thinking about that. I've talked before. I've had so many people come up to me and say, Cliff, we watch you in Big Brother. We watched you shower. And I've never really been, how do you respond to that? Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed watching me wash my hair or shaving or whatever. I hope I gave you some styling tips. I don't think I've ever given anyone styling tips of that sort. But they all say, "Oh, we watched you shower and all that stuff." Well, thank you, I appreciate it. I knew the live feeds were on. There's two that I showered a lot while I was in that house, and I don't even know if they were all captured on live feeds. I've said before, I like to shower as soon as they woke us up because they were playing music. It's the only time they play music in the house because the live feeds weren't on while we're getting woken up to change batteries and stuff. So they'd play a little music, and I'd get in the shower and I'd just sing as loud as I could while I was in there. So I'd always shower around that time period as well. But lots of times I would just shower just because I was so bored in the house. It was just a way to get away. No one expected me to talk to anyone. It used to drive me bonkers when someone would come up to me and try to talk game while I was in the shower. First of all, I could barely hear them. Second of all, I couldn't tell who else may be in the bathroom or listening as well. So I was a little uncomfortable doing it. And third, that was like my private time. Don't be talking to me while I'm showering and everything else. But sometimes it happened. But getting back to International Bath Day, we did have a bathtub in the HOH room in the Big Brother house. And the shower did work for Tommy and Christy. You'll always see me or look at me and you'll always see home. But I say that Christy couldn't understand. We couldn't understand what Christy was saying either, right? It is so funny, the things that I had no clue were happening in the house or things that were said that were just throwaway lines that until I got out of the house, I had no clue they'd become such a big deal, a big meme. Jessica falling off the wall. Now, I laughed when she fell off, that I didn't realize just how huge that thing was going to be. So you never know till you get out just what everyone starts laughing and showing over and over and over again to everyone else. But who's that? Hayden saying shower over a bath. For the most part, Hayden, I'll agree with you. Yeah, I get up in the morning, going to work. I'm not sitting in the bathtub. Now, give me a cold beer and a little time to lay around in the evening. Maybe a hot tub or a nice warm bath. Not a bad way to go. But with that in mind, International Bath Day, we did have the bathroom or the bathtub up in the HOH room. And I don't know how many people actually used it. I used it once, right after I became HOH. I was so happy. Not that night because I was exhausted, had to do noms and all that. But what was it? The day of the veto competition. I tore my calf muscle a little bit. I was in pain. They said, you need to soak it. I said, okay, well, guess what? I'm HOH. So I got me a bathtub to soak that leg in. So I went upstairs. I locked the door to the HOH room. It's about the only time I ever locked the door, I think. And I crawled into that bathtub. Now, I had a swimsuit on, cameras everywhere, including that bathtub. But I had my swimsuit on, but I got it super hot, bunch of bubbles in there as well. And I grabbed me a can of Dr. Pepper and a whole bunch of beef jerky, all the things I'd gotten in my HOH basket. And those are two of the things I'd asked for, is a bunch of Dr. Peppers, because they didn't give us Dr. Peppers in the house. We had Cokes and Sprites or something. So I said, give me some Dr. Peppers if you would, and give me some beef jerky. So I sat there and ate beef jerky while I was in the tub and drunk a couple of Dr. Peppers and did my Cliff Notes from inside the bathtub. I don't know if that was on TV or not. I'm not sure if it ever made it onto the live feeds. I kind of think maybe not, but I had fun. I sat up there for hours in that tub until the water wasn't so warm after a while. But now, so I did take one bath while I was in the HOH room and while I was inside the Big Brother house. So I guess that was my way of honoring International Bath Day. I don't know. Maybe I'll go take a bath tonight. Just I'll wait till the show's over. You're welcome. But maybe I'll do that again this evening. So there you go. So all of y'all enjoy International Bath Day. If you hadn't showered or bathed yet today, do it. Not just because it's International Bath Day, but just because it's probably a good idea anyway. All right, what did you enjoy most from your HOH basket? Chris is asking. Well, Chris, for sentimental reasons, what I enjoyed most was I had made for the previous Valentine's Day for Sharon, for my wife, I'd made some origami roses. I had just construction paper. I looked up online how to do it. And so I'd made several roses for her. Well, she sent one back to me in the HOH basket. And so when I saw that, it just kind of reminded me of her. It was representing her. And so that was absolutely my most prized possession. I still have it. I can't get it now, but I've got it just up on our mantelpiece. It means that much to me. But if you're talking about food and drink and things like that, I don't know. I got I got donuts, which were nice. I like me some donuts, but it may have to be. I'll tell you what it is. The thing I like most probably was the Dr. Peppers, just because that kind of represented the Texas and who I am and all of that. But yeah, now I'm talking about foods. The other thing I really was the letter from home. That meant so much, just to have that connection from home, reading about how my family was doing and my dog and the loofahs in the backyard. So the letter, obviously, but as far as food stuff goes, probably the Dr. Pepper. But here's the other thing that I really liked about, and I didn't ask for this, but the women, they would get in they'd win HOH, and they'd get face masks and perfumes and things like that. The guys got face masks too, except for me. As far as I know, I was the only HOH winner who didn't get a face mask in his basket. I don't know. Does that say something about what the producers are thinking? They didn't think I would appreciate. I would appreciate. I would put a face mask on and gone along with it. But I didn't get a face mask. But what I did get was some body soaps, and I think it was from Bath and Body Works, and it was their men's scent. And I know Mickey got it. He got several different scents. Every guy would get it when they got their basket, and I got like bourbon oak. And it smells so good. In fact, it smelled so good that I used it the whole rest of the time I was in the house whenever I'd shower or anything. And actually, when I got out of the house, I told my family, I said, hey, if you're looking for a Christmas present, I'd love to get some more of that bourbon oak. I think it was some cologne and some bath soap. I smelled great. So, hey, thinking about that, I talked about International Bath Day. We got another kind of important holiday coming up, right? I guess it's a holiday, special day. Sunday, for those of you who may have forgotten about it or not realize it's here so quickly, it is Father's Day on Sunday. Don't be forgetting Father's Day. It's a little easier to remember Mother's Day sometimes. Seems like there's a little more attention paid to it. Maybe because it's summertime, people are out running around, enjoying vacations and all that. But don't forget Father's Day. If you got your dad, make sure he knows how important he is to you. And if you are a father, make sure that you just think about how great it is that you got the kids and all of that. When I went into the Big Brother house, I had just lost my dad a couple of months before, so it was kind of bittersweet in a lot of ways. I wish he had still been there to watch me on the show. It would have been so much fun, but at the same time, I don't know. I kind of thought about him so much while I was in there and trying to play the game, and I know how much he would have enjoyed watching me in the house, and I know. With everyone having to deal with that, I was a big diversion for a lot of people watching the live feeds and all that in my family. So gave a lot of people a lot of things to do, and I have a feeling he was watching me. Maybe not on the CBS live feeds. He may have had even bigger all access than just that. He was paying attention. So anyway, make sure that you celebrate your Father's Day and give hugs to. And not just give hugs to whoever plays the father role in your life. Good. It's not always the same type person, but give the hugs out to those who deserve it. So what else is going on? Gooseman, are you going to do Cliff Notes for next season? Yeah, Gooseman, I got to. I had so much fun doing it last year. I didn't get much sleep, and that'll probably be again this year. Am I going to do it 7 days a week? I'd like to. Now, I'm not making promises to anyone that there may not be a day here or there where I have to change things up a little. We'll see. But I'm going to be watching it anyway. If I'm going to be up all night watching, why not go ahead and give y'all a little 15-minute recap? So, yeah, I'm sure I can't. I have to. It's going to be so much fun watching this thing with all brand new people and analyzing. Last season, I loved the show, and I loved All Stars and all that. But I already knew how most of those people were going to play the game. There weren't the big surprises. This season, when people come into that house, we're going to be seeing them for the first time, and we're going to get to see our assumptions about them correct, who's going to surprise us, who's not, and those middle-of-the-night conversations can have such a big effect on the game itself. So, yeah, I'm going to be watching, and I'll certainly I can't. Yeah, I'll absolutely be sharing it with with all of y'all and giving you a quick recap as much as I can. These shows are an hour long, but Cliff Notes I try to keep during the Big Brother season. I try to keep to 15 minutes, so I'll probably do that every morning and get that posted. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. I'll give y'all I'm going to keep everything positive. I don't criticize people. I may talk about some gameplays that maybe didn't quite work the way people thought, but I'm going to try to stay positive, and I'm going to be cheering on people rather than condemning people as best I can, because they're under so much stress in that house. I'm going to be able to empathize so much. So it's good. I'm so excited. All brand new people just has me so excited to watch. I can't wait. I'm sure y'all are the same way. It's going to be fun. We're going to have so much, and we will be talking about it on here on Cliff Notes. Forget all the other stuff. I'm sure we'll just be talking all hour long on Big Brother, and I'm okay with that. I hope y'all are too. Kelly's in the chat. My daughter, howdy, Kelly. Hope you're doing well. Hayden said your father is proud, Cliff. You did great. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I played when I tried out for the show. They ask, "Oh, are you big into games?" And all. I said, my family, we play Risk and Monopoly and everything else, and most of that was from my dad. And my dad was one of those. He never let you win in the house, and I did the same thing with my kids. When they won Risk or Monopoly or Ticket to Ride or whatever game we were playing, they won because they deserved it, not because anyone went easy on them. And so I feel like he helped prep me for playing a game like Big Brother. Now, even with that being said, maybe I wasn't quite cutthroat enough that, I don't know, it was hard. But now I got all my love of games from my dad and growing up as a family, and it came in handy while I was playing Big Brother itself. Jenna, Cliff, do I have any spoilers? Well, Jenna, if I did, I wouldn't be able to tell you anyway, would I? I really don't know anything more than y'all do. I don't know who's going in the house. I don't know, other than we've heard Beach Club and all that. I don't know any of the competitions or anything like that. I'm gonna find out probably about the same time y'all do. So I don't know any spoilers. Now I know inside scoops of just little things like well, let's talk about this. I'll talk about it in just I'll go ahead and talk about it now. Let me check real quick on here to see what's going on. I'll give you a little inside scoop about what's probably going on now or soon to be for some of the people who are going into the house. Parker's saying Ticket to Ride. Parker, if you've never played Ticket to Ride, you ought to try it. It's a railroad game. People play Settlers of Catan. I've played that as well and everything. But Ticket to Ride, you try to build railroad lines based on cards in your hand, and at the end of the game, people win who make their lines go to the cities they're supposed to, and it's a fun game. We play that game pretty cutthroat. Every time my family gets together as an extended family, we tend to have game nights where we play a lot of these board games and all. That was one of the worst things about COVID. We just weren't able to come together as a big family for this last year. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that again and getting some of those games going on again. And I'm going to be as cutthroat as I've always been with those games itself. So anyway, all right. We talked about Father's Day. Don't forget it. Also, I can't leave out Friday. Friday's National Fishing Day. Y'all know me. I love to fish. They film me on my little promo fishing a little bit. And that's hence the background here. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. What else? Ma saying same comps as usual. OTEV, BB Comics, Hide and Go Veto. I assume so. The only one in there that I question, I almost feel like Hide and Go Veto is going to go away someday. Maybe not, because it's such an iconic event, but I spent so much time in that house looking around, trying to figure out where I wanted to hide my veto. And I had some good spots. And then Mickey kind of blew it because he found it anyway when he knew where it was. He kind of, I'm a little upset with Mickey at that. It's what made me really suspect that he and Tommy were working together when he made sure that Tommy won that veto competition instead of who was supposed to be one of his allies, myself. But yeah, Hide and Go Veto, I'm sure they'll keep on doing it. The other one's OTEV, BB Comics. Yeah, they're going to do that every single time. And I'm just going to have fun watching. I was so lucky. I only didn't compete in 2 or 3 competitions my whole season, which maybe has to do with the fact that I was on the block so many times, which is not good. But at least I got to do OTEV. I got to do Slip and Slide. I got to do BB Comics. I got to do all the cool ones, Hide and Go Veto. I got to do all the cool ones that people always think about, and no one could take that away from me. That's so much fun. So anyway, go fishing day on Friday. Maybe I'll go fishing. What a great way to kick off the weekend, right? Most of my fishing's done freshwater. I have gone out fishing out in the ocean. I caught a blue marlin once off the coast of Mexico. That was kind of cool. Now on that particular trip, I didn't realize I went with my three brothers. So there were four of us going on this offshore trip. They all thought it would be really funny to watch me get seasick. So they all passed around Dramamine. What's the seasickness stuff you take? I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, they all took it. They didn't tell me they had it, and they sat there and they watched the whole time, just waiting for me to turn a little green so they could watch me get seasick and make fun of me. Well, I got them because I didn't get sick. I got a stomach made of iron. And, one of the competitions I did not compete on during my season was the one that Jessica won the veto competition on. Y'all remember that, where you sat on a spinning platform, it spun you around, and you had to launch a ball out onto a star map or whatever and get points? Nick got so sick. He was so incredibly nauseous after doing that competition. He couldn't even stand up. And we weren't allowed to take any medicine, or they didn't give him any medication for nausea. We had some little ginger candies that he was allowed to take to help settle your stomach down. So Nick didn't handle it at all. They could have put me on that little spinning machine. I could have gone around all day long and it wouldn't have fazed me. I would have gotten off and been just fine. So yeah, I did pretty good with those spinning type rides and everything else when you go to the amusement park. I'm so off on a tangent, but hey, that's what we're out here for. Let's see. Planning to watch The Circle maybe this weekend. Ma saying, I need to get finished up on The Circle, Ma, but I love the show. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see what else is going on. I was going to talk about the above, so let me do that. I mentioned fishing, but that picture is more than just fishing. Y'all can see what's over here, right? Right there. That is my key to the Big Brother house. 2 years ago, yesterday. I thought it was today, and I realized now it was actually yesterday. It was June 13th of 2019 was the day that I got snatched away from regular old life. Next thing you know, I'm in Sequester, and just about a week later, I am inside the Big Brother house. What a whirlwind week. What an amazing start to a journey, to an adventure. And I know I've talked a little bit about some of this before, that when I found my key, it really was a surprise. I had no clue. I knew they were coming out to film, as that wasn't, when people are going to come out to film, but I thought it was just location shots just in case I got picked for the show. And until I actually saw the key, I didn't have any clue that was it. And what y'all saw on that intro episode is absolutely what the only shot. It's not like they said, okay, Cliff, act more excited and we're going to film it again. Now I was plenty excited. As soon as I saw that key and knew I was in the house, that was it. I thought, I'm so excited, guys. I'm so ready. So amazing adventure. I think I told y'all last week or two, as soon as I found my key, they immediately said, all right, Cliff, here you go. Give your cell phone. You're on the show now, so you aren't talking to anyone at this point in time. So, within just a few minutes, I gave him my cell phone. And as I handed it over, I saw one of my brothers I don't remember if he was trying to call me or he'd sent a text to me and I wasn't able to read it. That was it. That for 3.5 months, that was no more cell phone usage, which is kind of weird all on its own, right? Can y'all go 3.5 months without a cell phone? I spent a lot of years without a cell phone, but I'm as addicted to them as anybody now. And it was tough not having that immediate access to information. But I was thinking today, I can't tell you everything, but I'll give you a little bit of the inside scoop of what happened on that day when I got snatched, because I'm sitting here thinking about it. Our season started a little bit earlier than this season, but if you figure July 7th is when Big Brother 23 starts, and we're about 2 weeks, I assume they're still doing a couple of weeks of sequester, maybe not, but maybe a couple of weeks of sequester for COVID, just to make sure. They got to be careful. Last thing they want is someone to get in that house and get sick. That screw everything up. So I figure there's still 2 weeks of sequester. That means really within the next week or so, you're going to have people that are going to start getting grabbed from their homes, their jobs, wherever it may happen, and getting put into that Big Brother house. So it's close. For all I know, someone like that is watching this show right now. And if you are, best of luck. Have a blast. Enjoy yourself. Don't talk too loud because everyone's listening and overhearing everything that goes on in there. So but I'll be cheering you on. Trust me. But no, so that particular day, I think just a little bit of background. I knew they were going to come out and they were going to film us, which was pretty cool. They had said, just in case something happens, go ahead and have your briefcase, your suitcase packed. So I had all that taken care of. They picked me up early in the morning, 7 early in the morning, and drove me to where they were filming the scene with the fishing and everything back here. It's not far from here. We go there all the time. But what's funny is the person that was driving me, I didn't know if this person was part of the little film production team that was going to film this little shot, or they had just hired some Uber driver to drive me over there. And I didn't want to potentially not make it into the house because I told someone I was potentially going to go on, and the word got out. So I wasn't saying anything to anyone. And so I sit in the car with this driver, and I don't say a word about what's going on or anything. And then after we filmed this shot, later they drove to another location and filmed me on an oil rig, doing some things, as a petroleum engineer. And that whole time, I didn't say a word to this person either. It was completely quiet. And eventually, I think he said something about, Big Brother. And I said, "Oh, you're part of them?" He said, Yeah. So, I just thought you were some random driver. So I wasn't saying a word because I didn't want to spill anything at all. And we both laughed about it. That guy probably was sitting there the whole time thinking, well, this guy's going to be a dud. He's got nothing to say. How in the heck did they pick him for Big Brother? He probably thought this is going to be the biggest waste of a spot ever. But then he figured out differently, because as soon as he realized that, or as soon as I realized that I was allowed to talk to him, I talked to him the whole time. He probably, by the time into that particular little car ride, he was probably saying, yeah, okay, get him out of here and get him in the house. I'm tired of talking to him. Because I kind of talked his ear off because I was so excited at that particular point in time. But now we had fun doing that. As soon as we got to this little lake area where we filmed this, I looked up and there are alligators all over in this water because it's early morning. And I knew there were gators there. We got signs all over this place saying, watch out for alligators. If you got small dogs or little kids, if you like them, keep them close. If not, whatever. I'm just kidding about the last part. But the people doing the filming were so happy when they saw the alligator. They went down, they filmed everything, and I almost think they almost were more happy to see the alligators than they were to film me. But we filmed that. We filmed ourselves fishing and catching a catfish and things like that. And then I discovered my key, which was pretty cool. But after we did that, after we went to the other location, filmed on an oil rig, they came back to the house and they said, "Okay, Cliff, this is it. Go inside, get your suitcase, kiss your family goodbye, and we're out of here." So I came inside, grabbed this suitcase, and my wife and son and daughter and their boyfriend, girlfriend were all here. I gave everyone hugs. I said, "Guys, I guess I'll see y'all in, I don't know, maybe I'll see you in a week or two, but I hope I see y'all in 3.5 months." Oh, and my mom was here as well. She came down. I was so glad that she came down also. So I had the whole family here, and but that's the toughest part, saying goodbye, but not really knowing whether you're just saying goodbye for a short period of time or for a really long period of time. And in the back of my head, I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm the older guy. I'll be back here before the 4th of July. But I was kind of hoping, and it worked out. I ended up being gone a long time. But so I grabbed my suitcase, go outside, film camera records us as we're driving off, and that is it. And next thing I know, I'm at the airport, and I've got a handler with me. This is a little insight. I've got the handler with me the entire time. I'm not allowed to speak to anyone for any reason whatsoever. I mean, I guess if the flight attendant comes up and asks if you want a Coke, it's okay. But I'm not allowed to chit chat with anyone at all because I guess they don't want someone to say, "Hey, guess what? I'm going to be a Big Brother," which I wouldn't have done, but I was pretty excited. So I get on the plane, and as I'm getting on the plane, first thing that happens is one of the flight attendants comes up to me, and she sees, I don't know if you ever seen this before? I'm not sure if I showed this to you before. She sees my little suitcase. Now, what it really is, guys, my little show and tell for them. It's my hat case. It's where I keep my a lot of my hats when I travel. So I've got my straw hat. Y'all recognize that from the picture? Kind of the same. And then I've got my hat right now that everyone signed, all the other Big Brother house guests signed after the show was over. So anyway, I walk on the plane with that, and a flight attendant comes up to me, and she says, "Sir, what is that? Are you a musician?" I said, well, no, I'm not. She said, well, is that a symbol case? And I said, no, it's just to hold my cowboy hats. And she laughed. She said, oh, I thought you were, a symbol case. And if I'd had a chance, if I didn't have someone kind of watching everything I said, I really would have immediately jumped in and said, yeah, I'm a professional tambourinist. I play tambourines all over the world or something. I probably could have convinced her until she asked me to play something. But I have a feeling tambourine's one of those that even if you can't really play, you could probably fake your way through it, right? I think I could play something and they wouldn't know that. They probably wouldn't know that. They probably would. If you're a professional tambourinist out there thinking that I am not respecting your chosen musical instrument, I apologize. I'm just having fun. I don't mean anything at all by it. But she thought I was a professional musician. I said, nah, I'm just a cowboy with a few cowboy hats. I'm taking on an amazing journey with me. So anyway, all right, let's see. Let me look at these a little bit. We go. House must look so good and clean the first day. Angie said, hey, Angie, here's what's amazing about the house on the first day. When we walked in the house, now, first of all, we're trying to learn our way around it. It just looks different when you're in the house as opposed to real. And I've had a lot of people say, well, the kitchen is actually on the right when you walk in, right? No, the kitchen's on the left from the entrance door that we go in on, and the living room's on the right. Yes, it was clean, and it looked very unlived in at that point. But what was even better than being clean, it was fresh. It was fresh, and that means not just the cleanliness of the beds and everything else, but the air was fresh. It smelled new. When you buy a new car or you walk into a house for sale or an apartment that's for rent, and you just have that fresh carpet smell and that new smell, and everything just smells clean white cotton sheets is what I'm thinking of. That's what that house smelled like. Now picture 3 months later when you've had 16 people living in there 5 out of 7 days a week without access to the backyard, the same air circulating over and over again. After a while, everything just gets a little stale, a little stagnant. At one point, we had something got rotten in the refrigerator, and I never did figure out whether it was intentional, someone that was upset as they walked out the door, or it's just something that happened. But there for a while, the kitchen smelled so bad we could barely stay in there because it just smelled like a rotten fish smell. It was horrible. But beyond that, just the air itself just starts smelling stale after a while. So yeah, the first day, besides just seeing so many people and trying to keep track of names, thinking, God, if I forget someone's name, they're going to boot me out just because of that. So that was my biggest fear. But I just remember more than anything else how bright it was, because we had the lights up everywhere around us, and you would look up and think, oh my God, now I know why people wear sunglasses inside this house. I remember it being bright, and I just remember the air smelling so new and fresh and not lived in. And that changed so quick. It changed very quickly. So a little bit more about my trip over there. I'm sitting on an airplane, and y'all got to remember, at this point, I know that I'm going on the show, and I know that I've already lost my cell phone. It's the last night, maybe, I don't know, what, game 6 of the NBA Finals or whatever. It's towards the end of the NBA Finals. And I'm trying to watch the game on other people's seat backs, their screens in front of their seats. And I'm watching and just saying, oh, let this game be over before we land in Los Angeles, because otherwise, I don't think they're going to tell me who won the game until I get out 3.5 months later or so. And so I'm trying to watch the game. And fortunately, I don't remember who was playing that season. Was it the Cavaliers? I don't remember. Anyway, the game finished just as we landed. So at least I got to see who won the game before I got out of the airplane, because as soon as I got out of the airplane, basically I'm driven to Sequester location, and that's it, my friends. I mean, if I tell you a little bit more later, maybe I will, but I got to be a little careful. But that was it for my communication with the outside world from the time I got off that plane. So I was glad to at least get that last little sports moment before it was all said and done. Let's see. Don's saying they did BB Comics in season 22. They did. I think they've done it. I don't know when BB Comics started. I need to find a better expert than me to figure out what the first season was. So I don't think they did season 1. Somewhere during the first the golden age, the first golden age of Big Brother, I suppose. All right, let's see what else is going on. Yeah, Kelly saying that was a crazy day. It was indeed for the whole family. My mom, yeah, mom saying it was so much fun. I was so happy that my family was there with me to celebrate me leaving. I don't know, that sounds funny, cheering me on as I walk out the door, but I mean, y'all saw me on the show. My family means everything to me, and so having them there as I left, and getting them to watch and experience the whole movie magic, the filming that was going on and everything, it meant a lot to me. It made it a little bit harder, and I laugh because if you watch the first episode, they show some people, I think Tommy and Nick and a few other people, they show them as they're being driven off in the car. They're leaning out the window, bye, I'm going to go win $1 million and all of that. They didn't show that on my episode. And I think it's because I wasn't leaning out my window, yelling and screaming and everything. Once I got in the car and was facing forward, I just said, that's it. I didn't turn backwards or anything. I waved and gave kisses and got in the car. And that was it, because it just would have hurt too much to be driven away and look back and see them all standing there and knowing that that's it. As soon as this car turns the corner, that's the last time I see him. I've always done that when I traveled globally and all that. When I give my wife a kiss goodbye, wave as I start to back out, but then that was it. And you just say, oh gosh, and just try to keep that one memory fresh, that last little look, keep that fresh. And I did. I kept that day in my mind for the next 3.5 months, and I was thinking about it. I remember the very last second I saw my wife and kids and mom before I was driven away. And I remember the very first second that I saw those same people waiting for me after the end of the season. And so two of my huge bookend memories with the whole Big Brother experience. All right, Brian, thank you. Toronto Rapture won that year. I would not have gotten, if that was a question on Jeopardy, you'd go ahead and just send me out the door right now, because I would have not gotten that in a million years. Obviously, I don't even know if I cared so much about who was going to win. But it was the finals, and I at least wanted to know that little bit of information before I made it in. It's tough because I know that at least 2 people in our cast, I think 2 people, celebrated birthdays while they were in Sequester, and that was Nick and that was Mickey. They were both in the, I assume Nick had already been grabbed. I know Mickey had been. They were both already in Sequester when they had to celebrate their birthday. What a rotten way to spend a birthday. No presents, no birthday cake, no anything at all. You just sit there, I don't know, watch your extra episode of Mad Men or something for while you're there to celebrate your birthday. But it'd be tough celebrating your birthday without even the Big Brother house guests in there. No one, just yourself. Maybe some Big Brother production people brought them a slice of cake or a can of beer or something. I don't know, but that'd be a tough way to spend your birthday. But also the anticipation of going into the house, that kind of makes up for it, right? Chris is saying, did you have butterflies from being on TV when you first got there? No, it's funny, Chris, not so much when I first got in the house, because it seemed so surreal. And I was so busy trying to play the game from the second I went in. The area where I got butterflies is while I was waiting to go onto the stage to see Julie Chen and waiting to see everyone else, when I had a little downtime. Because as you can imagine, nothing happens fast in the oil field or in show business, either one, as I found out. You have to get somewhere and you wait. So I got there. I'm ready. Put me in the house. I am good to go. Let's just get this show on the road. Oh, no, we got all this set up. Y'all just wait. Who knows what all they were doing. All I know is I spent a lot of time sitting around until it was my time to go up onto the stage and go into the Big Brother house. Now, part of it was I was the second group of 8 who went in the house. So I guess I had to wait for everyone else to go in and explore and do whatever talk they wanted to do. So all I know is I spent a lot of time really anticipating and getting the butterflies, thinking about, oh my God, I'm getting ready to go on national TV and cameras everywhere and all of that. It was kind of interesting. As soon as I got up on the stage, seeing Julie didn't give me butterflies, and maybe it's because I've seen her on TV so much or something, and it didn't seem real. But kind of what got me is when I would look off to my right, and I'd see all the crowd sitting in the seats, all looking at us and clapping and thinking, oh my God, these people they came here, they're sitting there just to see us walk into a house. And so, yeah, that kind of hit home, watching the crowds cheering us on more so even than Julie Chen. But once I got in the house, so pumped up and so much adrenaline. It really probably wasn't until after I got banished, fought my way back in, and done the HOH competition and lost. I didn't win. I'm not going to say I lost, but I didn't win. After all of that, when people started going in, taking showers and going their own separate ways, then I had a little bit more time to think about it and think, oh my God, these cameras are recording us all. They're watching everything we're doing. And so maybe towards the end of night one, as things started winding down a little bit, then I started getting the butterflies again, thinking about how am I going to handle this for the next, hopefully 90, 98, 99 days. So yeah, there were butterflies, but not so much day one because I was just so pumped up, so hyper on everything. I don't know how Tommy does it. Tommy Bracco on a normal day looks like he's had about too many 12 packs of Coca-Cola and sugar rushes because he's always a little bit of energy. Day one, he was like the Energizer Bunny. He was running around everywhere. He was as amped up as any of us were. So yeah, what an incredible first day. Now, it wouldn't have been quite as incredible if I'd gone home. I've always felt so bad about David. I was so happy that he got the chance to come back in because it was so easy for me to put myself in his shoes of what he had to be going through on that first day when he didn't make it through the dark maze. So yeah, so many emotions on day one. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Cindy saying, submitted the application for the Circle this past weekend. Well, Cindy, if you make it on that show, I was going to say, you better be playing Cindy. For all I know, you'll be playing Octavius from, I was trying to throw out some interesting character that you could be playing. I don't know. You'd be playing Sam the truck driver or something on the Circle. Who knows what your strategy would be? We may need to have a discussion about that someday. What if you were on the Circle? Would you be who you are, or would you play someone completely different? I think I'd have to be who I was, because as soon as they start asking me questions that a 20-something should know, I probably wouldn't know it. I'd get called out, and that'd be the end of my game. I'd just have to own who I was and hope that my emotions and everything played through typing my text and all that. But I don't. Well, congratulations, Cindy. I hope you make it on, and I'm going to be cheering for you if you do, right? That'd be cool. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So good luck to you, my friend. I certainly hope you make it on, and hope you don't make it on with anyone else out here, because then it's just like Christy and Tommy. So they divided loyalties once you start getting a whole bunch of people in the house that you know from each other, right? I don't know. The Circle does that. Big Brother seems to do it. At least my season, they seem to do it. I hope that's not the case this year. I want 16 people who don't know each other, who don't have any connections whatsoever. Everyone starts on just an absolute even keel. And I've said it before, I want full diversity with ethnicity, with gender, with orientation, with geographic locations of where you live in the country, ages as well. Let's just go all the way from 20 something all the way up to 50, 60, 70 something. There shouldn't be an upper limit. And more geographic focus. How come they don't ever have anyone from South Dakota or North Dakota on Big Brother? They watched that show, right? It seems like in my season, you had a big old clump of LA people, a big old clump of Jersey, New York people, and then a few of us spread out. Kat and I were Texas. A few people spread out elsewhere, but for the most part, you had two big old geographic locations. I want them all over the whole map. That's what I'm looking for in this next season. Tossed in Space, Brian Hosser saying that was the name of that. Yeah, that was the name of the competition that Jessica won. Talking about intense. I so wanted the right people to win on that competition, because I so wanted Jack, maybe Mickey, but mainly Jack was my target to get out that week. And I knew if Tommy won that veto, or if Jack had won it, or if Mickey had won it, any one of those three, it may not have happened. And so when Jack and Mickey went out early, and then Tommy went out, and I don't remember who was left. Kat, I think, was the first one out. She didn't do too well on that. But when Jessica won, and I knew that Jessica wasn't going to be changing her plans, I was I was happy just for him to go home. But there wasn't 100% guarantee that I wouldn't have been put up as well. Instead, Christy still had that power that week, and yeah, she'd made promises to me, and I'd made promises to her. But we know what promises are like in that house, right? So Yeah, that was a pretty intense tossed in space. That was a pretty intense competition, and people won prizes. I wish I'd done that competition as well, but whatever. I got to do a lot, so I'm not complaining. Parker's saying, no one from West Virginia. Why can't they recruit to people in my state? I agree, Parker. We need some mountaineers in that house. Parker, suggestion to you: if you're still watching the show, well, you could be getting snatched, but I assume not. When you get a chance, maybe you try it as well, Parker, and be the first person from West Virginia, and then you'll have a whole state behind you, right? That'd be pretty cool. Let's see. It won't be me, Mom. My knees are shot. Now, Jeffrey, I had all kinds of joints and everything shot a little bit when I got in the house too, but I was going to give it everything I had. I didn't recover. I gave it everything during the competitions, but I do think it took me a little longer to recover from those comps than some of those other people in the house. 30 minutes after the comp, they've showered and they're jumping around. They're good to go. Me, I spend the next 12 hours or so kind of limping around and feeling like a truck just ran over me. But I wasn't going to give it anything but 100% while I was in there. All right, let's see. What else? Midwest people are too laid back for good TV. Fun guy saying, maybe, but we need all types, right? I still think I think they need to go out of their way to get as many people from as many different areas as they could, if at all possible. Man, it is 7:50. Gosh, guys, I've just been talking about. All right, a couple of things real quick I wanted to talk to y'all about. I'm not going to have time to talk about it, so I'll talk about one. We may hold my movie review till next week. I went to a wedding this weekend. So much fun. I've got a cousin who got married, and she married into the Jewish religion. Married here in Houston. So I got to go to a wedding with a Jewish ceremony, and it was so cool. I love learning about other groups, people, cultures, religions, things like that. And I think it's probably the first Jewish wedding I'd ever been to. And the rabbi was so helpful. He knew there were a lot of non-Jewish folks at the wedding, so he spent a lot of time explaining things like the different traditions. That the bride and groom circle each other 7 times. That they break the glass at the end of the ceremony to represent the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. I mean, there's so much tradition built into that ceremony. They did Mazel Tov, and they lifted them up in the chairs. And I mean, first of all, congratulations just for the wedding in general. And I'm so happy for them. I love seeing people get married and finding their soul partners and all that. So much joy, and we had a blast. Extended family was there, so I got to hang around everyone, and a whole lot of dancing and everything. So it was a blast doing that. But yeah, it was cool learning about some of the different ceremonies and everything that take place as well. So what's going on? Okay, let's see. 7:59. All right, I thought I was even further behind than that. All right, let me look at this. I thought my internet may have crashed on me. I hope it didn't crash on me. Y'all are still out there, right? If not, I guess not saying give me a thumbs up would get a whole lot of anything going on. I think y'all are still out there. Let's see. I'm going to assume y'all are out there. You know, I've always said I can talk to anyone. I can talk to a brick wall if that's what it takes. So I'll assume so. Greek weddings are also cool to see. Abby Love. Okay, good. Thank you. Jeffrey says we're here. Yeah, Abby, Greek weddings. I've seen my Big Fat Greek Wedding, one of my absolute all-time favorite shows, one of my most favorite date shows ever. My wife and I went and saw it. I love the show. I love the Greek culture, and that was so. Yeah, I imagine a Greek wedding would be a lot of fun as well. But yeah, I had a blast this Saturday. Congrats to the couple. But yeah, it was just cool learning about the new things and all of that. There's a question up here I saw with Big Brother. I was going to try to respond to it. Austin saying, do you guys get changed in the storage room or the diary room for a competition? Austin, it's a little bit of both. Typically what would happen is before a competition, the voice of Big Brother would come over the loudspeakers and say, house guests, there are uniforms or costumes waiting for y'all in the storage room. And so we'd all get excited. We all would run in there and say, oh my God, lederhosen. And that's interesting. What in the heck could this competition be based on Free the Zine or, whatever the costume was. We spent a lot of time looking as soon as we got in there at the shoes to see if, are these shoes, first of all, do we have shoes? If so, it's going to be a little more athletic. If we all have the same tennis shoes, then it's probably going to be, something that's a lot more involved or a lot more athletic. One time we walked in and had these little like ballet booty slipper things, and turns out that was for the slip and slide competition. What was that? Oktoberfest, I think they call it. Anyway, so I was like, what in the heck are we going to be doing with these little slippery old slippers and things like that? So you'd always look at that. We would immediately look at the microphones, because if it was a competition where you're going to get incredibly wet, sprayed with slime and things like that, then you would want to, have waterproof microphones for us. So we looked to see if there was a waterproof microphone, if there was a pack that you wore your microphone around your chest versus just on if we wore it just on our shirt, then we knew it was probably question and answer, something like that. If we wore it elsewhere, then we started thinking more athletic. So yeah, so we'd go in, we'd see our uniforms there, and everyone had their names on their uniforms, because again, we're all different sizes. Nicole and I, if we wear each other, it's probably not going to work so well. So we each had our uniforms. That storage room would get pretty crowded, especially during the first half of the season. So most people would grab their coat hanger with all their clothes and go off into whatever room they were changing in. You didn't have to change in the storage room. You could change wherever. And sometimes if it was not just a shirt, if it was pants and everything else, the girls would go off into the bathroom or whatever. Most of those guys said, oh, whatever. And we just change wherever. But yeah, so we would change wherever. Once everything was done, we'd change clothes and we were ready. Then typically we'd be told, okay, assemble by the back door. We'll get y'all out there once everyone is ready. And so at that point in time, there's usually one or two girls who were straggling a little bit, still doing their makeup or tying up their hair or doing whatever they needed to do. I'll give y'all one more little inside scoop for the evening. OTEV. I don't know if y'all remember, we had kind of like some board shorts or something. I don't know, kind of paisley type shorts. I don't know. I put mine on, and I guess this is a good thing. I guess I'd lost weight since the start of the season when I was measured for everything, because I put these pants on and they were too loose. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be right now. I didn't know it was OTEV at the time. I just thought, whatever competition this is, I'm going to drop my shorts right in the middle of the competition, because these things are not staying up. What in the world am I going to do? And so everyone was waiting for me, and I actually ran back into the target room, grabbed one of my swimsuits, pulled one of those, the cords out of the top, the tie cord, drawstring or whatever, grabbed that, ran back up and stitched that, or ran that through the belt loops of this pair of shorts and tied it off super, super tight so my pants wouldn't fall off in the middle of the competition. Now, as it turns out, it was OTEV. They probably would come off right off the bat, and it would have been a whole different kind of episode, I'm sure, if I hadn't taken that little preventative measure. But yeah, that's a long answer to the short question of, no, the uniforms were there in the storage room, because again, we can't see the people. The storage room is locked. And that's the other thing. Before competition, if the storage room was locked, we'd all start getting antsy saying, oh, we can't get in. They must be setting up the uniforms or something in there. And so as soon as they had it all put up and everything, then the door would open up. We could run in and do our thing. So we had that. All right, Chris, did they give you the key as a souvenir? They did. In fact, I don't have it here with me. It's up on the mantle with some other stuff. But if you look at my Instagram story, I posted a picture of it. We got to keep, now, not until after the season. That got sent to us as kind of in our little goodie box of things that we got to take home. So they sent us the key. I got a mug, one of the Big Brother mugs that we drank coffee and drinks in while we were in there. A lot of the costumes that we wore during the competitions, not all of them, but a lot of them were included as well. We got our BB comic, which is incredibly cool. It'll always be incredibly cool. I got my BB comic, the actual comic poster, but also I have still the cape, the green shirt with the green cape and all of that. So yeah, I got all the cool stuff. We couldn't take any of that with us when we were evicted. You didn't pack that in your suitcase. It was, they decided what you would get or not get later and send it all to you in your goodie box. So it was really cool opening it up and seeing all the stuff in there and bringing back all of those memories. Wow. 7:58. Half goes so quick. Amanda saying, craving watermelon yet this summer. Even I got sick of watching Mickey and his watermelons, and I wasn't even there. He had so many, Amanda. There were times when he won HOH, it looked like that scene from Aliens with remember the astronauts go into the spaceship, the ET spaceship or whatever, and there's just the egg pods everywhere. That's what his room looked like with all those watermelons. Yeah, they were everywhere. Now I got to say, I was really impressed that he knew a different way to cut watermelons. He had it down to a science, and I ate a lot of watermelons while I was in there. But yeah, it still gives me a little stress every time I see a watermelon nowadays. Someday, but not quite yet. But whatever. That was. What a weird storyline, right? He said he liked watermelons as soon as we got in there. I didn't realize just how much he really did like watermelons. He won $500,000. I'm sure at least 10, 15% of it's gone towards watermelon purchases. I talked about if I'd won, it'd be fun to buy a little bitty vineyard and grow grapes or something like that. I think Mickey probably should have just gone and bought himself a watermelon farm, right? We maybe would have never seen him again. He just would be, he'd be like Golem on that's his name, right? On Lord of the Rings, fighting over that little the ring itself. Mickey would be in that watermelon patch saying, "Bye, precious. They're all mine. Bye, precious." I think he would. You're right. I don't think he'd get upset that I said that. He loved his watermelons. He still does, as far as I know. All right, what is going on? It's 8 o'clock. Now, I started a little bit late, but I still need to shut her down. Let's see. Y'all got any other final question? How's the poison ivy, Brian asked? It's almost completely gone. It looks like a sunburn a little bit, a very slight sunburn. It's still a little red. I had it all over my knees, and all, for those of you who don't know. But the itching is gone. I'm past it. Hopefully, I don't get it again this year because that was brutal. That was miserable. But yeah, it's tolerated and tolerable now. So thank you for asking. But I went through my poison ivy attack of the year. It'll come back next year, but at least for now, we're good to go. So thank you for that. All right, let's see. What else do we have, guys, before I shut this down? What's that? Someone talking about Big Tom. Like I've said, Big Tom from Survivor was more happy about a ham than Mickey was for about 500,000. You know what I remember, Ma, about that ham is Big Tom got that ham. He was supposed to share it with Ethan, and then he realized that Ethan didn't eat ham, and Tom was so excited about that. And I love Big Tom. I love to watch Survivor Africa and just watching how Big Tom and Ethan interacted. And I think Big Tom got, I don't know. I think he deserved to do a little better than he did. I think he got the run around a little bit. They had to answer some questions and it didn't work in his benefit. But now I love Big Tom from Survivor. Why did Mickey look like a 24-year-old with a 40-year-old body? I don't know. He had a well-sculpted, well-defined body, right? It was so interesting. He'd go out and work in the backyard. Everyone goes out and lifts weights and all that. Mickey didn't just lift weights. He would go out there and he would say, "Oh, see this little muscle right here? I'm going to work on that muscle, or this little muscle right here." I thought it was just a bicep and a tricep. I didn't realize there were 400 different little parts of it, but he knew every single one and how to work on every single one to make it just pop out a little bit more. So yeah, he was, I don't know about the 40-year-old body. I got the 40-year-old body. Mickey had the well-defined body. He spent a lot of time working on what he does. So there you go. Hayden saying no more bees swarming around. I hope no more bees, and I'm incredibly happy every time I walk out in our front yard and I don't get chased by bees. I just say thank you for the beekeepers of the world. I love my bees. I love my honey. I don't want either one of them to go away, but I don't want them living here either. So now that no more bees, I'm keeping an eye because I was told 20% of the time they do come back. They ain't coming back to my house one way or the other. They're done. It's nothing more. Just like the Big Brother house, they're not coming back in either. So there you go. All right, guys, it is 8:02. I was gonna do a movie review for y'all, and I'll tease it a little bit. We watched The Quiet Place over the weekend. Not Quiet Place 2. Quiet Place 1. I'm behind. I tell you, I'm put it on the list. Truly, I have a list I'm way behind. But we watched A Quiet Place. I enjoyed it. I'll talk about it next week because, you know me, I just start talking. I lose track of time. So we'll talk about it then. But let me know what y'all thought as well. DMs between now and then. If not, we'll talk about it Monday. All right, guys. Y'all have a fantastic one. Again, Father's Day on Sunday, so make sure you do not forget. It's important that you don't forget. All of y'all have a fantastic week. Stay cool. It's hot down here. I know it's hot in a lot of places, so stay cool, and I will see y'all next Monday. In the meanwhile, SKD 143, love my wife, love my kids, love all the people out here, love all the reality fans around the world. Y'all be careful, guys.
Talk to y'all later. Cheers, my friends. Bye.